Yeah.
Today's beautiful, so if you can get out on the lake, man, today's certainly the day to do it. The wind is calm. We've got lots of sunshine. This is our Clyde Warren Park camera. Temperatures right now in the low 70s. So it is just beautiful out there. We're at 65 degrees though in Denton, 67 in McKinney, 66 in Canton, 70 degrees right now in Decatur. Later today, we will notice those temperatures will be quite a bit warmer, but it's not going to be terribly hot. The normal's 88 degrees. We're forecasting a high of 85 in downtown Dallas. 86 in Fort Worth, 84 in Waxahachie, 81 later today in Gainesville, and then overnight tonight, clouds will slowly increase. I think we're staying dry for the most part. Temperatures drop down into the mid and upper 60s, about 67 in Denton, 65 in Canton, 67 degrees in Mineral Wells, and 68 tomorrow morning in Decatur. So satellite and radar, very quiet right now. We're going to continue to see lots of sunshine throughout the afternoon. Yes, you can see the high clouds to the south and west, but generally I think that's where they're going to stay. So looking at our timecast, I'm going to go ahead and take you through the overnight hours, and most of the data does keep us pretty dry until we get to tomorrow morning. Now we're going to be watching some storms coming in out of Oklahoma. They're going to move into parts of North Texas, but notice the Metroplex, we're looking dry during this time. Again, this is going to be 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, but then we push the clock a few hours later, and it looks like most of those storms, they try to fall apart as they move off to the south, but now we do have some showers in between McKinney and Greenville trying to make their way into parts of Dallas County. And then these storms, well, again, there's going to be a few isolated storms, but that's about it. As we go throughout the rest of the afternoon and evening, eventually that chance of rain and storms, the coverage being low, it shifts to just south of the Metroplex. So I think most of us will likely end up staying dry on Sunday. We'll see what the latest data says later today. But as of right now, the coverage of rain and storms looks to be very low, and the threat for any severe weather also looks to be very low. So for overnight and into tomorrow morning, we do have a very low threat, a marginal risk of seeing severe storms across the Metroplex. But the farther north you go, that's when you're going to get more into that slight risk category. But by tomorrow afternoon and evening, now the Metroplex still in that marginal risk for seeing any severe weather. But now south of the Metroplex, we're going to be in that slight risk for seeing maybe some quarter-size hail and wind gusts of 60 miles an hour. But this is not going to be a big severe weather event by any means. So I certainly wouldn't cancel any outdoor plans for tomorrow, but I would certainly pay attention to the latest forecast and the latest radar. So for today, mostly sunny, dry, pleasant. Temperatures make it into the middle 80s. And then overnight tonight, increasing clouds. Rain will be a possibility tomorrow morning, but the coverage during that time, about 20%. 68 degrees tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, though, a 30% coverage of rain and storms. On Monday, it looks a little hotter, 90 degrees. We're going to have a little bit more wind coming in out of the south. A 20% coverage of rain and storms. We also have that 20% coverage on Tuesday. By Wednesday, a 10. So this week, it does look unsettled, but the overall coverage of rain and storms looks to be pretty low. And then looking at the second half of that 14-day, it does look hotter. It doesn't necessarily look intolerable by any means, but temperatures do make it into the low 90s. In fact, by around June 12th, so the end of that 14-day, we start to get a little bit closer to the mid 90s with very few rain chances.